Here we go then, boys and girls. Season 3 in the Championship. Third time lucky. This is the year we make it to the Premiership. Or go bankrupt, because financially, I don't think we can cope with another year of pushing for promotion but not actually getting there. So we really, really need to get promoted this year. And there we are. Here we go, boys and girls. Look at us. Look at us. That's the game that it crashed during the other night, the Arbroath game. So we'll play the last couple of League Cup games, then we can get started on the league matches. If you missed the transfer special, the transfer window, Thursday night on stream or Friday morning on LOLLUJO 2, we didn't do a huge amount because we'd done a lot of it in advance. We had a lot of youngsters, a lot of players from Celtic coming in, and I actually think we have got a pretty strong squad. The media think we're looking good for getting into the playoffs again, which is always nice to see. And this guy is going to be a superstar. Jack Fletcher, off of Manchester United, is now our midfielder. We don't have any money to really add to this squad. In fact, we're way over budget. So we're just trying to squeeze in the odd loan here and there. There's a striker that apparently we were trying to loan. Oh, he'd be good. Oh, I'd like one of those. But yeah, I think we're looking. I think this is an opportunity. This has got to be the year. There's no excuses. This has to be the year. We went to IKEA. We had a day in Milton Keynes. We went to IKEA. We went to the Lego store. We went to the Smith's toy shop. I love a Smith's toy shop. We went to Decathlon to try and get Anna a snorkel because she doesn't like getting water on her face when she goes swimming. So she wants to swim at the gym in a snorkel, which I think is awesome. Just a complete face covering snorkel. And yeah, we've had I tell you what, Milton Keynes is all right as a place. Obviously the football team, absolute bobbins. I could live in Milton Keynes. It's got everything I want from a city. Is it a city or is it a town? It must be a city because we did it on Best Thing From. It was fine and it was cheap. It's what I said to Anna, it's probably the cheapest meal out we've had in possibly ever, certainly in years. 11 quid for a meal for two. Lovely old stuff. We were winning this in the original version of this timeline. Now we're losing and it's going to ruin our season. The shops that you need, entertainment, places to go. Obviously, they don't have a football team, which is a problem. But it's not so far from like real places that have football teams that should be problematic. Would I get them again next time? I'll probably try the plant ones next time rather than getting the meat ones again. Liverpool did play the reserves and won. I mean, I was out, so I didn't actually watch the match. I have seen the 11 that Liverpool put out. To suggest that that was their reserves is a little bit of a stretch. I know they used some of the youngsters, but let's just have a look at this supposed reserve Liverpool team, in which, in the starting 11... Hold on. Let's find the starting 11 for Liverpool today, which was supposedly their reserves. Included Diaz, Gakpo, Gravenberch, McAllister, Robertson, Van Dijk, Konate. That's the reserves, is it? Right, Luke Kenny. Who the hell is Luke Kenny? He played 33 times last season. Did he, by golly? And what's he upset about? Wants to be starting more games. The season hasn't even started yet. What is it with people like Luke people called Luke being whiny? It's just something that goes with that name, isn't it? It's just a whiny name. Oh, I've had a lovely day. Looks fixed. So you're telling me that as far as Canon are concerned, that Twitch pillow looks more like a human face than my human face? I am alarmed. Yeah, Pac-Man was a problem in the past. That's why Pac-Man is relegated to being off to the side where the camera can't pick him up. I guess the Twitch pillow's going out there as well. Madness. Have I been offered any jobs? I've been offered a few jobs, but we've decided it's a one-club save. So we started with East Fife, but we're going to win the Champions League with them. I work for Canon. Can you show them what a face looks like then, please? Maybe show them a photograph of my face and then use that as the basis for their facial recognition stuff on their cameras. Yeah, I'm going to spend thousands on this, aren't I? We're already at the point where, obviously, this is my thing this year. Last year, what was it? What was the thing last year? The year before it was Pokemon. Last year it was Pokemon Go, actually. I wonder if the Daily Bugle Lego set's still available. What, this one? Yeah, they had it in Smith's this afternoon. Yeah, that was available. I realise I'm a child, but when I get into something, I get into it. How much did I spend? That is redacted. That is undisclosed information that doesn't need to be shared. As I said, it's focusing on something again. As I said to Anna when she was panicking about that, this almost made her have a heart attack in the shop. She was like, it is a lot to spend. And I was like, it's not even it is not even a fraction of what I spent on Pokemon cards. That pushed her over the edge. But then we brought her back round again with a Disney castle. That's what I mean. Anna is going to be building on stream. So that will make it tax deductible then. The stuff, I mean, really, I ain't building that on stream, I can't imagine. Maybe I will. But Anna's going to be back streaming once we get our room set up. Put it in my new background. I plan to have a full Marvel skyline along here, or along the equivalent of there in my new office. Why is it not focusing on me? Right, what could it be? I'll try moving this. I can't believe it's this that is the problem, but we'll move it. You need to pay if it's business trash. It's not business trash. It'll be house trash. You need to tell him you're coming beforehand. Okay. Right, Jude Smith has gone. It's a very sad day. He was a great servant for us twice over. He was our first choice keeper for 4 years. But he has gone. We've made money on him as well, which is nice. Gets us a lot closer to being within budget as well, which is also nice. Hopefully it's just going to take us... This is just teething problems. This is team cohesion. This is the problem here. If we've learned anything the last couple of seasons in this league, it's that it doesn't really matter early on. It'll even itself out. But that wasn't a good result because St Mirren... Okay, St Mirren are just relegated from the Premiership. So actually, it's not that bad a result in the circumstances. We can get away with that. Right. How good is St Johnstone? Not very. Right, we should win this. But yeah, we'll get the terrible advice again. Is this terrible advice? No, they're reactions. Somewhere on here you get terrible advice from your assistant manager, don't you? I don't even remember where you see it because I just ignore it and click through it. I genuinely don't know what's causing the problem. Let's come back. Because the really weird thing is, I actually think it's me turning my head to read the chat. Because has anyone noticed it happened in YouTube videos? When I'm basically constantly looking straight down the camera or slightly below. Because the only time I do this with my head is when I'm reading Twitch chat. When I'm making a YouTube video, I never move from looking at the camera straight on. So I think it's when I look away, it can't tell that it's a face anymore. So when I do that, it's like, well, that's not a face. Because I think it's looking for my eyes. And if it can't see one of the eyes, I think it gets confused. So maybe I need to move the chat. But it's weird because the chat's in the spot it's been in for the last 3 years. Moral of the story, don't clean my office. I know. Someone on TikTok asked for an office tour, though, and I figured if I'm going to do an office tour, I better clean the office. We've got a penalty here. I am going to put this giraffe back as well. Just going to watch us do a goal first. There we go. We did a goal! They they just fill this screen with too much stuff I don't need to see constantly. I don't want to feel like I'm looking at an Excel spreadsheet when I look at FM. I don't need data thrown at me, or I don't need everything on every screen all the time. And that's what you tend to get with skins. I tend to go with the opinion of Sports Interactive employ actual user interface designers. I think they probably know what they're doing. I don't think Greg in his back bedroom, who makes his own versions in Photoshop, is of quite the same level. Maybe Greg's great. If there's someone out there who's actually called Greg who makes skins, this is not an attack on you. Sorry, Greg. Am I the only one who can't seem to find good keepers on this FM? I think it's a case of they get hoovered up by the big clubs. There's not enough to go around. But that's similar to real life, I guess. I mean, you just have to look at Arsenal. There aren't enough top-level keepers to go around. So soon, if you're at a top level and the big clubs have all already got their goalkeeper sorted and hoover up the best young players for backups because they pay more wages, then it is pretty hard to break through and get a decent keeper. And has a link to his YouTube channel on everyone that gets downloaded. So I know Zealand has a link back to his YouTube channel on everyone that is downloaded. So it's quite good for reminding people that their channels exist, I guess. But yeah, I don't see the benefit. I don't have an interest in you. I've never felt the need to use a skin. So because of that, I'm not going to promote one. Yeah, if you want to see the skin that I use, go onto Steam Workshop, type in Kev's button. Football! And we assume that everybody does things the way nerds do things. But I think what everyone has to realise is the vast majority of people who play Football Manager don't use a skin, don't know skins exist, don't even download face packs and kits and badges and any of that stuff, and literally just play. They don't know you can download databases. The vast majority of people who play Football Manager just play it completely vanilla out of the box. And that's exactly how I did it for years before I started content. And we made a compromise. I download the kits and the badges and stuff because people get really, really, really upset about them not being there. Right, here we go. Conceding a last-minute goal. Lovely, lovely. Oh, for goodness sake, we actually did. Ah! What do I do when I get sacked? Restart with a new team or start again with them? Usually neither of those options. Usually I'll just go and get another job in the same universe. It's almost as if, and I refuse to believe this is the actual scenario, it's almost as if staying on attacking when you're defending a 1-goal lead in the 91st minute isn't the route to long-term success. But having played FM for as long as I have, I know that that's not true. And I know that dropping back to a more defensive system will make that happen even more often. And what's actually happening is that because we're the only semi-pro team in the league, we get towards the end of the matches and we're shattered. And the other teams aren't. And those late goals are actually the fault of the board because they won't let us go full time. It's not my fault. It's the board's fault. Stupid Scottish Glazers. Are we still not gegenpressing? I haven't gone anywhere near gegenpress this season. We're using a vertical tiki-taka. And we're loving it. And once the team get used to playing it, we're going to win the league. The championship's extremely hard to get out of in real life, so be in for the long run. Exactly. For me, in the English setup, when you're doing a road to glory, there's 2 choke points. National League and Championship. National League is difficult because, again, if you've started with a really small team, you'll often be competing as a semi-pro team against professional teams, and there's only one automatic promotion spot. So the National League's very difficult to get out of. And then the Championship, you're usually a team that's far too small to be in the championship, so you can't compete with the established championship players. And then you throw into that every season, 3 teams get relegated from the Premier League with Premier League squads, Premier League money, and parachute payments. So it's even harder to get out of the championship. Do a goal? We did a goal. Look at that. That's good football. I took Scunthorpe from National League North to the Prem with consecutive promotions. I don't know how. Still don't understand what's happening. Yeah, and Burton were massively juiced by that huge sponsorship. Remember, we had like £5 million of a sponsorship in League Two and trained at St George's Park. So with Burton, I had huge advantages that certainly helped. It was quicker than it normally would be getting up through the leagues with Burton because of those 2 huge advantages that we had. And in actual fact, I suspect in real life, Dortmund would offer more money. They'd be like, oh, well, here, have some more money then. I think, if anything, the realism glitch was on Football Manager's end, thinking that Dortmund would offer me less money than Burton would in the first place. But you got to remember, folks, with Facebook, the Facebook content is not targeting anyone who watches my content at the moment. It's not going to be looking for the people who watch YouTube or watch Twitch. It's aimed squarely at the people who are... Because the amount of people in these groups who don't realise Football Manager content is a thing. If we could get even a small slice of the people who talk about Football Manager on Facebook to watch my content on Facebook, then that's a huge number of people. I'm Gen X. I'm not Gen X. I am a millennial. I believe it's now known as an elder millennial. And then I just need to figure out what to do with my Instagram account, which I've never really used properly. I don't really get Instagram. It's never been a platform I've used. Every platform I've ever had any kind of success on is a platform that I actually use as well. So YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. They're all things that I actually use. I've never sat there scrolling Instagram. Anyone who's been around for a long time will have seen every 2 or 3 years I get completely obsessed by Minecraft for 3, 4, 5 months and then don't touch it again for 2 years. And then I loop back round and I'm obsessed with it again. I'm the same with Pokemon. I'm the same with Pokemon Go, Pokemon cards. Pretty much everything else that I'm interested in is cyclical. Football Manager has been that constant for, like I say, 25, nearly 30 years now. I just play Football Manager all the time. So I think it's unlikely that I'll get bored of it. Am I still paying for the Minecraft server? Yes, I am. Also, both Jack and Ben actually pay attention to what's happening in the game, so they notice too many issues. I mean, we'll get the aliens gone. I do when I'm making my YouTube content. Again, anyone who watches both should be able to see the huge difference between YouTube Kev and Twitch Kev. Here, I'm just here for a chat. And the only way that you'll chat with me is if I'm playing the game in the background. Whereas in the YouTube videos, I'm properly like focused in on the game. Pompey have collapsed in League One. Aren't they mega clear though at the top of the league? As a posh fan, we're not really looking at the top 2 at the moment because we've had a little bit of a rough patch. But I think they're well clear, if I remember rightly. We hadn't won in the league in Cambridge for like 30 years. Now, we haven't played them a lot in the league in Cambridge for about 30 years because they're usually in non-league. But we've played them a bit. On our day, we're great. What's on National League finals at Kenilworth Road this year? Both sets of fans going through the main gate or the least. Is that actually happening? That can't be happening, surely. Oh, for goodness sake! Peter will need to be investigated for the amount of youngsters they seem to constantly pull out of thin air. We just scout well. As much as Barry Fry annoys me, because he was a terrible manager, he's a very, very good director of football because he's so well connected. We've got these relationships with certain clubs. Like, if Barnet find a player who's any good, he's coming to Posh. Sammy Hewitt wants to start more games. It's a reasonable request, but we've got some very good players ahead of him. But he has got higher potential than them. Fine, we'll give him game time. We're just going to let everybody who wants game time have game time. What's the worst that can happen? I've just poured water all down myself. So now we're going to win the Champions League with them. Because why not? The answer should be, why not East Fife? First time in the stream, well, welcome along. I'm playing East Fife next Sunday. Excellent. I'm going to be at an East Fife match in the next month. When is it? I can't remember exactly when it is. Where's my calendar? And I can tell you which match. I assume I've put it in my calendar. I am going to be at East Fife versus Stranraer on the 23rd of March. So less than a month now. And it's going to be excellent. I saw haggis in Sainsbury's the other day. I almost bought it, but I was like, no, I will try it in Scotland. I'll have it proper. Did I manage to get a ticket for the Roma game? Yes, I've got my Roma ticket. I don't want to be responsible for Posh losing the 100% winning at Wembley record. Because I decided to make a silly little YouTube video. Oh, football. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Look at us go. How many seasons do I plan on playing as East Fife? As many as it takes for us to win the Champions League. So at least, assuming we get promoted this year, I imagine we're going to need at least another 5 or 6, realistically, to get to the point where we can win the Champions League with them. Wonder if Sir Alex will be at Wembley. Doesn't Fergie tell his dad to stay away? He's a jinx. Yeah, I don't think he comes along very often. Was he at Old Trafford for the playoff final all those years ago? I'm not sure. Have I, or do I plan on using the transfer glitch? No. I was just highlighting that it exists, but I don't plan on actually using it. I saw Fergie at the Stevenage Posh game this year. That is our first defeat of the evening. No, we lost. So we've lost to St Mirren twice. St Mirren are a problem, apparently. They're the only team we've lost to this season. We've lost to them twice. Yet they're down in 4th place, but St Mirren seem to be a problem for us. No coincidence as well that it was a game where we'd played 3 games in a week and we're semi-pro and getting tired. Right, come on, let's win the last game of the stream. I think that's the done thing. Set ourselves up for tomorrow. Remember, I will be back, folks, tomorrow night, same time, both Twitch and TikTok, 7 o'clock-ish kickoff. The highlights of this stream will be on YouTube on LOLLUJO 2 at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. So if you are new and want to get caught up on this save, you can head over to LOLLUJO 2 on TikTok, on YouTube, sorry. That's LOLLUJO 2 on YouTube, and the highlights of the whole save so far are all on there in a convenient little playlist, edited down into like 20-minute videos of the highlights of the save. And then Non-Need to Legend on YouTube, 4 o'clock tomorrow on the main channel. And then 5 o'clock tomorrow on the vlog channel, we've got the next vlog in the cruise series. So much content across multiple platforms coming at you tomorrow, boys and girls. What a world. Also worth saying as well, for those of you who missed the old daily vlogs, which finished over 5 years ago now, no one should be missing them at this point. It was a long time ago. The video I made today on TikTok, on the other TikTok channel, Mr. Kevin Chapman, is the closest thing I've got to a daily vlog style video in 5 years. So if you missed that kind of video from me, Mr. Kevin Chapman on TikTok. I went to IKEA for the first time in my life, but it was when I was editing it, it was very much, this is just like one of the old daily vlogs. I just like the nostalgic feel of it. I'm probably the only FM creator who actually likes the current 3D match engine. Looks wise, I don't think it ever needs to move beyond this. Obviously, some of the animations and stuff need improving, but the actual graphical look of it, I'm fine with. I'm scared next year it'll look hideous. It won't look worse than it does now. It might play worse, but it won't look worse, surely. That's a football goal. Not watched Elimination Chamber, which follows like 1 hour, 15 minutes of wrestling on a 4-hour show, which is why I still don't watch WWE consistently. I'd much rather have lots of wrestling matches. I have a slight feeling FM25 might be the first year we get a slight price increase. I mean, the price went up this year or last year. When did it go up to £45? It wasn't £45 3 years ago, that's for sure. So it had a £5 increase either this year or last year. I can't remember exactly when it was. So it won't be the first time there's a price increase. I'm playing it free on Xbox with Game Pass. It works for me. That's the way to play. If you've got Game Pass, don't be spending any money on the game. Is Manny doing brand deals for eFootball at the moment? Because he was playing it the other day. He's playing it again now. Or is he genuinely enjoying playing eFootball over FIFA? We are going to raid. Wow, Niran's playing Football Manager. Let's raid Niran and ask him why he's still ducking me.